All right, here I have the GoPro Hero 8 Black, and I have the Insta360 Go 2. Wait, are we really doing this again? I don't know, I guess I thought you wanted to. I'm pretty tired, I wouldn't mind just going back to the astral plane. Okay, no problem. You know, next time we do this, we should probably think of a new shtick. Noted. Later, pal. Okay, so to start things off, you might have noticed that I said Hero 8 Black, and that's the GoPro that came out in 2019. There's actually a Hero 9 that came out last year, but there's two reasons we're looking at this one. The first being that these are actually closer in price. The brand new Insta360 Go 2 comes in at $300 US, and while pricing for GoPros in general is just confusing as hell, you most definitely can find the Hero 8 for $300 as well. And the second reason is that I'm stuck at home and this is my personal GoPro, and it still works great and I really like it, so yeah, that's about it. But I'm sure there are plenty of folks who are looking at both of these cameras and trying to decide which one to go with. So in this video, we're gonna look at stuff like specs, image quality, ease of use, and design. All right, well, probably the main reason someone is looking to buy a Go 2 is the size. This thing is very small and it's very light. It's got a magnet on the back that very cleverly snaps into 3 accessories that come in the box. There's a pivot stand, a hat clip, and my personal favorite is this magnetic necklace that you put underneath your shirt. Overall, the Go 2 is a lot more discreet to use than the GoPro, and I really like that. It's got a hidden button that's basically its entire body here, and it comes with a charging case remote control that reminds me a lot of an AirPods case, and overall, it's just really nice, really compact, really easy to take with you. My only complaint is that because it's so small, you have to sacrifice a lot of things, like there's no real estate for any sort of menu screen or a viewfinder, and if you don't want to use the remote control or the app on your phone, a lot of times you're not really sure what you're doing, and I'll talk about this more later. Now, the overall look of the GoPro hasn't changed a ton over the years, but each new model definitely gets more refined. And the best part is you no longer have to rely on the kind of clunky multi-piece plastic casing and mounting system. Instead, now the legs just fold real cute out of the bottom there, and that's how you use accessories. It's got this nice screen on the back so you know what you're doing. It's got a little screen on the front that tells you what mode you're in, a power button on the side where you can cycle through the modes, and of course, a red button on top that lets you start recording. First off, please keep in mind that this is a compressed YouTube video, so it's kind of hard to really judge the images in this format. But spoiler alert, the GoPro pretty much destroys the Go 2 in almost every category. The Insta360 tops out at 1440p at 50 frames per second, while the GoPro can shoot 4K 60. The Insta360 only has 32 gigabytes of internal storage, yes, internal, whereas the GoPro comes with a 32 gigabyte card and obviously means you can go way over that. The GoPro can go 20 feet deeper underwater, and the list goes on. And actually, I'll just bring the music up and show you the list so you can fully absorb it. Got it? Okay, let's keep going. Now obviously the GoPro shoots at a higher resolution and a higher bit rate than the Go 2, and therefore looks better. The colors pop more without having to do anything, less is lost in the shadows, and everything just looks a good amount crispier in my opinion. Now stabilization is really solid in both cameras. Now with the Go 2 you only get the top of the line flow state stabilization, as Insta360 calls it, in the Pro mode, which I actually try to avoid because you have to process Pro mode clips through Insta360's app before using them in Adobe Premiere or any other editing software. And personally, I think that's really frustrating. But the stabilization in the regular video mode, where it behaves more like a traditional action camera, is more than passable. Oh. Now both cameras have their own versions of this fast slow mode that you'll probably only use a handful of times. Both can shoot and assemble time lapses and night shots. And GoPro has these great presets where with a couple taps you can switch to a different resolution or frames per second or mode, and you can customize any of these. And when it comes to switching modes with the Go 2, there's really just a whole lot of hoping and praying if you don't want to use the remote or the app. There's a series of button presses that gets you into different modes, and then this light will start flashing, but it's really hard to be certain of what you're doing. I find myself just constantly looking at the remote control to make sure I'm in the regular video mode, but even still I end up with a lot of pro mode videos and a lot of accidental videos. Also, if you accidentally click the button before the camera is upright or looking at the horizon, maybe it's pointing at the ground, it can get confused pretty easily and you might end up with some sideways video. Or even in pro mode, it gets confused from time to time and will fully go upside down. I could go on and on about this, but basically, for such a simple camera, using it can be a bit of a headache. Now the GoPro operates more like a traditional camera that we all know and love. There's a button to toggle through modes, there's a red button that gets you capturing, and of course there's 2 screens on the device to make sure you're doing exactly what you want. Now I'm sure to some people that can get a little overwhelming, but for the most part, turn camera on, press red, see numbers rolling, and you're probably gonna be okay. Both cameras also have a good amount of manual controls like white balance and color profiles, although I'd wager the majority of people are just gonna leave them in auto all the time. But if you do wanna mess with manual controls, obviously it's a lot easier to do on the GoPro. Also shout out to my friend Evan, who's been making these e-bike videos for our sister site Roadshow. He swears by GoPros and manual settings, and he's just the best. Okay, let's talk about battery. Again, because the Go 2 is so small, it has a tiny battery and it's only gonna get you about 30 minutes of shoot time. But this charging case can actually pass juice from the case to the camera while you're out and about without having to plug it in. So it ends up lasting a lot longer and you can shoot with it inside the case, of course. So overall, I really like this little ecosystem. Now the GoPro battery lasts a little bit longer, I'd say probably 45 minutes to an hour of shoot time, but the batteries are swappable and you can buy them for 20 bucks a pop, so you theoretically could have a lot of spare batteries in your pocket and never worry about battery. But if you stick with one battery and you're using these cameras at the same time, I actually felt like the Insta360 lasted a lot longer because of the case aspect. Okay, so when it comes to accessories, this is one category I would actually give to the Go 2. First off, they come in the box and they all work with magnets and are super seamless and lightweight and unobtrusive. And this is really Insta360's niche. They just are committed to coming up with fun and unique ways to get you out there shooting and using the cameras in new and interesting ways. Now the GoPro, there are a lot of really cool, definitely more professional accessories that you can buy. There's a rig with a shotgun mic or an extra monitor or an LED light, and you can actually build a pretty nice kit with this thing. But that being said, because they're extra, I personally haven't bought any. And speaking of mics, it's probably a good time to give them a listen. All right, little audio test. I'm talking to the GoPro right now. This is the GoPro audio with a little bit of wind noise, and then talking to the Insta360. Yeah, you can see a little bit of wind. What do you think? Alrighty, so who's the winner? Well, I think there's kind of 2 camps. The first is maybe you don't make a lot of videos and you just want a funky little gadget to get you one-off, kind of out of the ordinary shots to post to social media or something, or maybe you want something lightweight to take with you on shorter bike rides or something like that. That's all Insta360's territory. But if you make a lot of videos, edit all your stuff on your computer, and just kind of want a reliable tool to keep in your arsenal of video equipment, then you have to go GoPro. Now personally, especially for the money, I gotta go with GoPro. The image quality is way better, it's higher specs, and it's just something that you can rely on that will improve the overall quality of your videos. And remember, there's a newer model, so if you have an extra $100 to $200, you can get the Hero 9 with a front-facing screen and some other fun features, and I'm sure you will not be disappointed. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think. Maybe there's another action camera that you prefer. Let me know. Thank you for watching, and as always, be excellent to each other.